Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. So some of you may have watched one of our previous videos. Oh, there's bees all around. When I had showed you the new bed we had created, there are 2 skip laurels and a Spartan juniper, and I had said that I would like an Oakleaf Hydrangea to go in front of those. And I needed a rather large one, but I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get one for the season. You know, we're getting close to the middle of September now, but I was able to get one. So come garden with us and let's get it planted. Okay, so here's the bed. You guys have seen it. 2 skip laurels, the Spartan juniper, our transplanted red bud, which has taken quite a hit, the 2 clearance rack incredible hydrangeas, and then the Oakleaf Hydrangea is going to go kind of right here in the middle. So I'm going to pick it up and show you what the stats are. So I said I wanted an Oakleaf Hydrangea and I wanted a Snow Queen. And that's what I was able to find online, because Snow Queens are taller than they are wide for the most part. Let me show you the front first. Snow Queen. We have one of these at the top of the property, and I really like the way it's growing. I was able to find this one online. Could not find one locally, at least not a couple of places where I shop. So this one stays upright, which is why I like it. I didn't want one that was going to get really wide and short. So this is 6x6, perfect size for over here. So we're just going to get this planted. So as I said, I was unable to find a Snow Queen Oakleaf Hydrangea locally, so I ordered this one online. I got 15% off. It's a 3-gallon and it's a really nice size. I also scored free shipping because I was able to find a Blue Point juniper to replace the one at the edge of our meadow that died. My husband was able to plant that yesterday while I was at work, and I'll just show you a shot of what that looks like. So there's the Blue Point juniper. The one on the right is the one we replaced. It's as tall as the previous one that we planted last year. It's just not as wide. Obviously that would be kind of difficult to ship. We planted it a little high. Going to keep it well watered. I actually think that's why this one died, because it has been so dry this summer, and even though we did water it, I don't know, it went downhill real quickly. I think while we're up here, we're going to plant this Hosta up here too. We had bought this a while back. I wasn't sure where it was going to go. This is Shadowland Voices in the Wind. It doesn't look like this color now. I'm assuming once it ages, it'll look that really pretty blue-green. So it's 17 inches tall and it's quite wide. I think it's very tough to see on here. The spacing is 46 inches. So that'll be good for up here. I don't have a lot of stuff to go in here at the moment. I do have a Japanese painted fern, but I'm not sure I want to put that here. This time of the year, this bed's not quite as shady, I think, as the fern would like. I have to think about that one. It really does need to get in the ground. Maybe while my husband's planting the Hosta. I'll think about where we can put the fern. I got to think about where we're going to put the hosta too. All right, so I think we're going to put the fern here as well, because again, it will, at this time of the year, it is a little bit sunnier here, but the sun's not exactly at the highest angle, and eventually it will receive a lot of shade from the red bud. And this is a crested surf Japanese painted fern. Thought I wanted it up in our shade bed at one point, up there underneath our fallen tree. Not exactly sure if this is black walnut tolerant though, and at the moment I don't really feel like looking that up. Just needs to get in the ground. It's been in its container for way too long. But we're gonna put the, I don't know, I'm gonna have my husband put the hosta in first, and I can still kind of decide if that's where I want the fern. Yeah, we're gonna have to protect this too, my husband just said, from deer. But we have plenty of cloches still that we can use to cover it. So the fern does not have a tag, so I'm not sure exactly how big this one gets. I don't think the Japanese painted ferns get huge like the ostrich ferns do. I think they're just a little bit more delicate, so I think it's going to look pretty here. And like I said, eventually it will get enough shade from the redbud, eventually from the laurel as well. And once some of the spruce branches start to grow back in, it'll get some shade from that too. And I think we're fine. If any of you watched us putting the redbud in, you know we cracked our pipe. I think we're far enough away over where we're putting the fern that we don't have to worry about that this time. Okay, so the fern and the hosta and the Oakleaf Hydrangea are in. We'll just take a quick shot. Let me get that off zoom. I think this bed's finally starting to come together. I really don't want to fill it up with a lot of stuff. I like being able to see all the evergreen interest and the different colored foliage that we're going to have up here eventually. I do think we could use a couple of things on the far side of that Oakleaf Hydrangea. But I think for now this looks really nice, and it gets the fern and the hosta in the ground where they've been sitting in their containers here for a couple of months at least. And the clearance rack Incrediballs are doing really, really well. We're going to have a couple of flowers on this one soon. This one has a tiny bud. Hopefully, I mean, it's supposed to get quite cold tomorrow night, 46 degrees. I think everything will be fine. The ground is still quite warm. So this bed's starting to come together. I wasn't going to show us planting, or rather my husband planting these sedges that I bought. I showed these in my garden tour of the upper part of our property just after we had it wood chipped and mulched. We still haven't gotten them in, but I am going to show you us planting these because it's part of the process. I showed you the plants. I might as well show you us planting them. I'm going to turn you around and I'll tell you a little bit about them, even though I'd already mentioned them in a previous video. And I wasn't going to show planting because it's just notoriously difficult to dig up here. Even more difficult than it is to dig in the rest of our yard. There's just so many tree roots and rocks. But I'll show you a little bit of the process. So these are the Cherokee sedge. These are natives. I bought them for up here because of their color to go against the blue shadow Fothergilla. I've been trying to get something up here in the yellow family, chartreuse, that would look good with those, and have not had success. Saw these at work. They were buy one get one free, so I got 4 for the price of 2. These are part sun to full shade, so they'll do well up here. 12 to 18 inches high and wide, hardy in zone 6 through 9. So not a huge range for these sedges. What else? Glossy green foliage. Best uses as a ground cover and naturalization. They're deer resistant and they're good for wet spots, but they're also good for dry spots, which it can be both up here. So they're like an excellent plant for all different kinds of uses. If you have sun or shade, they'll work in both. You have wet or dry, they'll work in both. So that's why sometimes it pays to go native. There's always a native plant for the particular situation you might be experiencing in your garden. Right now up here it is bone dry because of all the trees and our lack of rain. Even our Fothergilla has suffered a little bit. I cut quite a bit of it out. These are very root bound. I'm going to turn you off so that I can help my husband here. Well, I've been warned off helping too much because there is still poison ivy up here and I have an extremely bad reaction. So I'm just going to watch, I guess. Is it a handle to something?
It's a handle to something.
Unbelievable. What happened to that piece of metal thing, too?
It's over there.
It still is? All right. It's amazing what we find in our ground. No idea what people used to do up here. Dump all kinds of stuff. It's very frustrating. We're mixing in a little of the composty type garden soil because it holds on to moisture a little bit better since it is so dry up here. So that's what the blue bag is. Okay guys, all 4 sedges are in, and I really do like the way they look there against the Fothergilla. They're very dry. Everything is extremely dry up here, so we really do need to get them watered in. So thanks for coming along with us today on this random mishmash of just getting things in the ground that we've had sitting around for a while, or just some new stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye.